I really gotta shit.
Many qualities for you to dislike.
I'm vengeance.
Wakanda forever! Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Suit Up Geek Fix podcast. And man, oh man, are we at the very end. Before we jump into our review of the season or series finale of WandaVision, I just want to give you guys all a great thank you for joining us this morning for our little 40-minute pre-discussion before the show aired, and then our live reaction. So if you guys stay tuned then and are watching now, thank you guys so much. You rock. It was a great time, and we all got to see another infamous Deibs cry, which was always fun. But man, it was just me and Deibs this morning. Lo was so close, but he was one of the very few people, or very many people, to get the you don't have the episode notification. That was a very heartbreaking moment. And unfortunately, AJ's alarm for some reason didn't want to go off because he says he said it, but I don't really believe that. But it's fine. We are all here now together talking about this season and show. Man, oh man, was it emotional? Was it heartbreaking? But wow, it gave us more questions than answers. But you know what? We all kind of expected it more towards the end. Man, oh man, there's a lot to discuss. So let's just get right into it. What are our general thoughts on this episode? I'm just going to go to AJ or Loretto, whichever one you want to speak first, since you guys weren't on this morning. AJ, you're muted, FYI.
He's muted. I was like waiting. I was like patiently like,
I was gonna see
every single time it happens. Every single time. I'm trying to be polite. Nuggets. Hey, I'm trying to be polite so y'all won't hear me smacking. But hey, anyway, WandaVision, the season finale of WandaVision was incredible. It's plain and simple. Wanda was amazing. Vision was amazing. Just seeing Vision versus Vision gave me like throwbacks of Man of Steel. I don't think you guys noticed that, but it really did give me it gave me good vibes from that. I really love that action sequence. We're spoiling it now or later.
No, dude, bro, it's always spoilers in this case, dude.
Spoiler.
Scarlet Witch looks amazing. To me, she looks better than the comic book version of Scarlet Witch. It just looked amazing.
They gave her a really good update. That's what they did. Mm-hmm. They did a good combination of the current and the past, and I just think they did it really well. And I don't know if you guys caught this. This is a really cool Easter egg to the X-Men Quicksilver with that Pietro. Did you guys notice when they were in his little man cave and he tapped, or I forgot who tapped who, but I think he tapped Monica and she flew, and that's a reference to X-Men Days of Futures Past when he was running in the circle when they were like all caught and everything slow motion, and he touches everything and it kind of just blasts off. So I thought that was a cool little nod to that Quicksilver.
Yeah, it's like kinetic energy, right? When you build up all that speed in one little touch.
Loretto, how do you feel about this episode now that you saw it?
So if you guys recall, anyone that was here last week, last episode was my favorite episode, and this one did not top it, unfortunately, but I felt like it was a satisfying and complete conclusion to the story arc presented to us. I am sick of my timeline right now because I see so many people complaining, and look, don't hear what I'm not saying. Like, I am with you guys as an X-Men fan that I didn't enjoy how they presented Evan Peters to us. It felt like a troll job. It felt like gotcha, just kidding. But it doesn't take away with how good the show was, how good the acting was, and how good they just pieced everything together for Scarlet Witch's true form, which is something we haven't even touched in the actual MCU yet. We haven't seen how powerful she is. I think Agatha mentioned that at her highest ability, she could surpass the Sorcerer Supreme, which I thought was I thought that was a very interesting line because it makes me think like, oh shoot. So in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, is Wanda going to be a little bit of a villain in this one? I thought they were going to pair
Yeah,
up.
we said that this morning, bro.
So that was my first thought, and I'm excited for that. I will also say, unfortunately, I didn't get to do it on air. I did get teared up a little bit. It was a very emotional moment. It was very reminiscent of like Rogue One, and even just terms of like letting someone go. I mean, you see that in a lot of films, but Rogue One came to mind immediately. I just really enjoyed the performances. Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen were just made to be these characters, and they did so well. They are the heart of the show. It's called WandaVision. It's not called Evan Peters Mephisto. It's WandaVision. So that's what I gotta say about that. And I also wanted, what do they want to touch on? Go ahead. Someone take it away. I'll get back to it.
I want to give, dude, I just want to give like Kevin Feige a shit ton of credit, dude. I really just trust this dude at this point with Feige. Okay, AJ.
Oh, wait, sorry. I remembered.
Say it.
Sorry, I'm like scatterbrained. I just got off of work.
It's all good, dude. It's all good.
So I will say this. I liked the bottom portion of her full witch fit suit, whatever you want to call it. But I don't know what it was. I didn't like the smaller horns. What is it called? A wimple or something like that? I wasn't fond of like the smaller set, and I didn't like her frizzy wild hair thing that she was doing. I felt like if they would have went curls, I would have liked it. I think it was curls in the original comic, right, AJ?
Yeah, it's curl.
Super curly. I thought that would have looked cool.
It's like super curl and pumped.
Like she had like some weird bedhead going on, and I just wasn't fond of that. And
to be fair, she did just get out of bed.
But I mean, I don't want to nitpick too much because everything else looked great. She looked great, and I just think like I wouldn't have minded like the horns being a little bit more pronounced. Like I liked like the big horns like on the Halloween costume.
I felt like if they went bigger, it would have been way too comical,
exaggerated.
Yeah, it would have been way too much for me. That's why
I don't know. Do you guys think
even in Loki,
like a lot of
they got the horns, it's smaller. I think it fits better for our world to see the way it's live action.
My issue is like I feel like a lot of films always try to make suits practical, but sometimes it's like you got to let the character or the comic just shine a little bit, in my opinion. But
I mean, they did in the Halloween episode. They did. So
yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. I like that look. I like the big horns, but you know.
Dude, I honestly, this episode was just wild. But like what I was saying before, Kevin Feige can really just do anything with any character at this point in comic book history, and I will just fully trust him. From Guardians of the Galaxy to making, I don't want to say the worst characters, but not the most well-put characters in the MCU that we've had previous before WandaVision. And that's shady, bro. But I want to give a lot of credit to the two main leads, dude, Paul Bettany and Lizzie Olsen. Like every time we think they can get better with their performances, I will say this right now, this episode was both their best performances in the MCU. Yeah. AJ's got something to say, or he's just.
When do I get to talk?
I'll say it's one of their best performances in the MCU. I think Wanda's best performance was in last episodes, and then Vision's best performance was, I think, 2 episodes ago, either 2 or 3 episodes ago, where he got angry and the way he was confused and just angry and stuff like. I felt like they both had their separate episodes that gave their best performance rather than this episode.
How do you think it worked, Deibs?
I mean, just what my overall thoughts of the show. Like, this has been a hell of a day, man. A hell of a day. Waking up at like 12:30 in the morning, getting ready for this watch party. I put out like 3 written contents, a review, a top 10 moments, 5 things we learned, 3 posts in one day, not including this. And then I think going back to just give me like 5 minutes, guys. Give me like 5 minutes. Because there's a lot to kind of like digest here. Yeah. I have a lot to say. And, you know, like really the nuts and bolts before I get into my spiel, like I always thought about how Kevin Feige is going to top the character development of Captain America and Iron Man. Like you had 10 years of character arcs building up that were just unbelievable character arcs, beginning, middle, and end, that were completely crushed. And I think I questioned Kevin Feige. I'm like, that was like my biggest question mark, saying like, how the hell is he going to top this? And I wasn't the biggest fan of the idea of WandaVision when it came out. It was like Falcon the Winter Soldier, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk. Like WandaVision was down here, guys. Like I was not this was like an experimental show. I was not a big fan of the sitcom element, and then this came out, and it was really a love letter to the characters. It was a really just a love letter to character development and just setting up Scarlet Witch to become truly the mightiest Avenger moving forward. I was just really happy about the finale. I think this was among my favorite episodes of the series. We have a lot to be excited about. It established Wanda as the mightiest Avenger. We got the Darkhold, which is now established in the MCU. There's so much to break down. AJ, we're gonna have to do a pod on that. There's you got witches, you got Salem. Agatha Harkness is still alive. I'm so happy she was trapped and not just thrown away. Lots to develop in that. Monica Rambeau and developing Secret Invasion with the Skrulls and Nick Fury and Sword moving forward. You've got just just simply Wanda learning what chaos magic truly is and how to harness that and how that impacts Doctor Strange, teaching her and harnessing those powers. You have Sword very likely experimenting on the negative zone, which is going to give us the Fantastic Four. You have Elizabeth Olsen, who should probably win multiple awards for her performance in this series. I'm just really happy with what we got in WandaVision. Like, so my expectations were here, and I was just blown away. And like, it started kind of slow, but for me, it ramped up like going on a roller coaster. And speaking of roller coaster, that finale was just the like going over the top. It was up and down and up. And Ryan, you saw me, man. Like I was happy, I was screaming, I was crying, then I was crying, then I was crying again. It was just a culmination of amazing story making, an amazing script, amazing performances, amazing writing, and just a love letter for, like you said, Loretto. This is WandaVision. This was saying, that it was Romeo and Juliet. It was a tragedy. It was about a character overcoming odds, overcoming her trauma in her life. I get why this is so divisive. There's a lot of divisiveness about this. It was always going to be divisive. This finale was always going to be divisive. It was a series that brought more questions than answers. They were never going to fill and write in all the answers to the questions that they brought in. But I am just so ecstatic that we got a show that's centered on character development, and that's what truly carries the most weight in the MCU. All right, spill done.
Nah, Deibs, you said it pretty much as well as anyone. Dude, that was fucking perfect. But let's get into the episode. The episode just really starts where the last one left off. Agatha is just holding the kids. They're all just being choked by magic. But you know what? They say no. White Vision comes in. He's like, where was it? Dude, I am telling you, when Vision went up to Wanda and held her face, was that the first thing he said to her when the show opened up? Was the way he said Wanda, and he was like holding her face. Oh no, I thought that was a nice callback to how she felt in the first episode. Yeah, but guys, what do we think about the action? Because we were all questioning where this budget was going for this show. $200 million this show costed, by the way. A good amount. Costed more than Infinity War and Endgame, I'm pretty sure. And do you think it lived up to the production budget? Because I've seen a few people saying that it looked a little cheap. I'll let anyone talk first.
Say that again.
What do you think about this episode pretty much having a lot of that visual effects that people were expecting out of a $200 million TV show?
I thought it was great. I didn't really expect it to be movie quality, but to have that big of a budget, it was I don't know how to explain it, but there was a lot going on in this episode, action wise and CGI wise. It was you can tell where the budget went. Especially in this episode, the Vision versus Vision fight, the Agatha versus Scarlet, especially the Agatha versus Scarlet Witch. You can just tell they put a lot into that, money wise and just work wise. For me, I had no issues with it, especially since it was a Disney Plus series. But if it was a feature film, I would have had a little bit of issues with it. So I'll cut it some slack because it's on Disney Plus instead of as a big budget film type movie.
No, yeah, I honestly agree, AJ. Does anyone have any other thoughts on like the CG of this episode?
So I've been like questioning the budget the entire show.
200.
No, I mean like I know, but I mean like I've always been wondering where the money went, and I still don't know.
Yeah.
I would say
it
went from the cast.
I mean,
if you look at the cast, you can tell that
it had to have been.
Yeah,
I mean,
it had to.
They're not exactly A-listers though, we're not talking about like Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise here, so
yeah, but Kevin Feige wants them for the long run. That's why they paid them more, because we all know that the MCU is the biggest franchise in Hollywood right now, and if we're going to get new cast members and old ones that's going to continue forward, he's going to put down big money for them.
So if we're talking about like Jimmy Woo and Tiana Paris as Monica and Agatha Harkness, obviously Catherine Hahn, if their contracts are taking up some of this budget, I get that, but it's just interesting to me because I feel like like Deibs, you're saying like supposedly this had like more visual effect shots than Endgame, but I don't really see it. Like I guess like the hex and the cars and the buildings tweaking out or whatever, but it just didn't seem like. I mean, maybe I don't know. I'm not a visual effects expert, but it just didn't seem like it would be cost that much. But what do I know? But it didn't affect that like how I feel about the show though. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't look like it's cost that much.
Yeah, the CGI did not take me out of the emotion of this episode, not an ounce. And I think the CGI was best when Scarlet Witch was revealed, her costume was revealed, and I think it was like what was the line she said? It was like, I don't need you to tell me who I am. Scarlet Witch has been questioned her entire career in the MCU, whether it was Thanos going like, I don't even know who the fuck you are, or it was Agatha saying like, who the hell are you? Like that moment of Agatha saying, I don't need you to tell me who I am, was just a celebration. It was a triumphant moment for Scarlet Witch to cement herself as the mightiest Avenger. That CGI visual spectacle was 100% worth all the theories and spending all the countless hours of investing our like Game of Thrones-esque theories into this show. That was just an amazing moment. We talked about this, Ryan, before we started the watch party. I was like, I assumed, because there was so much to unpack in this finale, I assumed we weren't going to get that Mephisto, Reed Richards, Professor Magneto. The list goes on. Doctor Strange to even Deadpool. Like the list goes on and on about all the theories that happened. But regarding the visuals, I was really happy with it because it didn't take me away from the emotional impact of this finale, and that was really what mattered to me most, was giving Vision and Wanda the proper send-off moving forward. I really, really loved how and I respect the writers for treating it as WandaVision. This is about Wanda and Vision and Wanda overcoming her trauma. I give just the utmost respect to the writers not selling out and just like going the easy route and just being like, oh yeah, here's Wolverine, or oh yeah, here's blah blah blah. I don't know. They kept us on the edge of our seat the entire show. It was a mystery show. You know, I'm not the type that like I get upset because my theory was not right. I'm the type that I just enjoy the ride. And I think people kind of lost their way on social media in some respects. And pound for pound, this was a great show. The visuals were awesome.
I think it's funny. I think it's funny how people complain when their theory is right, but then complain when their theory is wrong. It confuses me. It confuses me.
You know what frustrates me too is like the fact that they take it so personally.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, that's just Twitter in a nutshell.
I mean, I'm not gonna call this guy out, but I specifically saw someone like, how dare they do that to Evan Peters? He doesn't deserve that. You know, they reduced him to a dick joke, and I mean, like,
I know who you're talking about.
I mean, like, I get the dick joke thing, but it didn't ruin my day. I didn't think about it 2 hours later. I was sleeping.
Oh no, I thought it was pretty funny.
I could give two shits about Ralph Boner, if I'm being honest. But on the other hand, as an X-Men fan, I was like, damn, that sucks. They just tease us. But I wasn't.
But the thing is, they didn't.
Go ahead, Edge.
The thing is that people assumed that Evan Peters' character was going to be part of the Fox, and that's what's going to be connected. But it was never said. No one ever said anything about it, and it wasn't even teased. It was just the same actor.
AJ, you know what's interesting is nobody listened to him, but Evan Peters clearly stated when they casted him, "Oh, I'm not playing the same character." He said it like when they hired him. No one listened. No one ever listened. Hey, look, they
only listen to what they want to know.
Exactly, but this is how Twitter acts. It's headlines. If it's the headlines that says like a good example is when the headline said there's going to be a Mandalorian type reveal for the
Luke Skywalker sized reveal.
Yeah,
the article was trash. By the way,
even that was the big.
The article was trash, but even though Elizabeth Olsen never said that, people still believe that
that's crazy.
They're going to get a Luke Skywalker. It's
anything for clicks, bro. Anything for clicks.
Yeah, you gotta blame the stupidity of people too. So, and
this is a mystery. Like the nuts and bolts of the show is a mystery. That's why I enjoyed it so much. This was like Game of Thrones lost ass water cooler version of just like, you know, shooting the shit and what do you think and hoping something sticks. But you're right, Loretto. Like people get so insulted when their theories don't click. And I just find that so almost borderline laughable. Like TV shows, movies use misdirection all the time. Why are we getting upset about this now? I don't.
It's because they love the show and they want things to happen.
They want things to pan out the way they want.
They're wrong. They are 100% wrong. The mutants need to be built up from the ground up. Kevin Feige needs the time to build it up slowly and give them the respect they deserve. I did not like the Evan Peters idea of bringing in Fox X-Men and all that. I've
been saying that since day one. I've been saying
100%.
So like I don't want to make it too like analytical or political or anything, but I just feel like it speaks to this generation because I think a lot of the discourse I saw was from like younger viewers.
Mm-hmm. They want it and they want it now.
Well, they want what they want. Like they want what they're imagining. They want what this is their favorite character and they want their favorite character to be in this show or otherwise fuck this show. And it's like that's not how TV works. That's just
to them. That's how it works.
You know what actually worked about the show? Was there was not a goddamn action scene for nearly 9 episodes, and we were talking about it every single week. A show about superheroes, and we're sitting here talking about it was this show like not a masterclass in just being so excited week to week to week and excited about the show dropping every single time, and not an action sequence. Not an action sequence.
No, yeah.
One.
Deibs, to add on to that, you know what I don't see a lot of people talking about? was the moment between Vision and White Vision.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a pretty monumental moment for just Vision in general. I don't know if I say Vision or Visions, because one Vision technically didn't die, went back into Wanda. But you know what? We're not questioning that. But now Vision is sort of back in the MCU because Brain Vision transferred his memory, which is Wanda's memory, into the
Technically, he didn't transfer anything. He just made him remember. He always had the memory. But the vision that was created by Wanda just cleared it up.
I'm
for
glad
him.
you clarified that. I thought he transferred the memory back to him.
No, he always had the memories. Yeah.
So he gave him the memory back. And do we think we're gonna get a White Vision, or do we think we're gonna go back to regular Vision and kind of move on past this right now? Because I think we're getting a lot more White Vision moving on in the future. I want to know what you guys think.
I wouldn't mind a paint job. A good old paint job.
AJ is right. You're gonna get rebooted. AJ, do you want to give your thoughts before I give my thoughts?
No, you can go. You can go.
I do think that this sets up. It was kind of a weird exit for Vision.
He just shoots up and he's gone.
What that conversation was they're realizing like who is Vision, who is not Vision. Well, they're both neither Vision, so one of them is gone. So it was like one of those like weird kind of situations. It was really weird, kind of like getting that.
No, the revelation.
Like, what the hell was going on right now? I couldn't process that entire conversation, but it was essentially that they decided that none of them are Vision, and they're like not. But there's one of them Vision, and White Vision's now I think going to go up into probably Sword and help out in Secret Invasion and Nick Fury and Monica Rambeau. I think that's his direction. In the comics, you see White Vision kind of try to rekindle relationships with Wanda, but they don't. That's not going to happen. There's actually a storyline of White Vision and Carol Danvers having some sort of relationship there as well. But I think you're going to see White Vision become the Vision, Paul Bettany Vision that we have seen, but it's not going to be the same relationship-wise between Wanda and Vision that we love.
Yeah, I actually agree.
Well, I will argue that the revelation that they had at that scene is they were both Vision. So it was the opposite of what you thought.
I
because
there was they were quote, both halves.
That's what I meant. No, that's what I meant. Sorry. That's
yeah.
So,
right,
so
you're right.
Have,
they're neither Vision, but together they are Vision.
They're both like 50-50, but when they come together, their Vision goal around.
Yeah.
No, I have two really quick thoughts. First thought was like they were having like you guys mentioned this earlier. They were having like a Superman-ish, Man of Steel-ish fight, like flying around and shooting lasers and choking each other and stuff like that. But I just found it really a benefit, like a positive on the filmmakers' part, that I enjoyed their conversation more than I enjoyed their fight.
Yeah,
definitely.
Like that conversation was fascinating. Like they're philosophizing with each other, and I didn't say that right. Okay, I'm not gonna try.
Philosophizing.
Long story short, though, what I thought was gonna happen was the way I interpreted it was like because Vision essentially was a piece of the Mind Stone. I pictured it as that was kind of like Vision's soul talking to his physical body. I thought they were gonna merge, and I was like hoping for. I thought he was gonna like phase into the body and like inhabit it somehow, but I don't know. We'll see where they go from there. So
I hope it's. I don't want Vision and Wanda to be a thing anymore. Like I want that to be completely separate, because what this show was about was overcoming grief. It was accepting one's loss and moving forward. I would not be a fan if like Vision is reprogrammed or rebooted and they try and hash it out. I'm not okay with that. I think that would just be a discredit to this entire story arc. I enjoyed the White Vision part. It was by far probably my least favorite. part of the finale. I think there were so many other elements in this finale, but White Vision was okay. The dialogue was okay. It was like he was kind of like out, and we're like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was a very philosophical conversation between the two of them. But guys, let's really get into the nitty gritty of this episode, and let's just straight up jump to the end, where it caused Deibs to cry and me to wonder what the fuck is going on. So at the end of the episode, I mean, I guess we all kind of either guessed or assumed that Vision, Tommy, Billy were gonna disappear at the end, but man, dude, did they really fucking disappear in this show? They didn't just disappear, they built that bitch up. That's it. I thought it was so well done for these characters to not even have too much screen time in the overall aspect of the MCU at this point, and to have that connection between these four characters, I thought was really well done, not only by the writing, the directing, but the acting itself was phenomenal. And then we lead down to get an even better one-on-one emotional acting scene between Wanda and Vision, which was truly just heartbreaking, on Vision telling Wanda that this is your way to move on. I give you my permission to move on and continue with your life. Because at this point, Wanda doesn't know what happened to White Vision either. She didn't see him shoot up into the sky because she was doing the whole thing with Agatha. Agatha. So I'm really curious to see how that kind of plays out in the future. But just on the general aspect of this entire scene of all the character, or of Wanda saying goodbye to the two boys and Vision and the Hex at this point, I Deibs, just tell us how you felt in that moment, because I'm really curious.
You don't even need to know. You just go look at our recent video. It's like fast forward to like 5 minutes in, you'll see me just bawling my eyes out.
It's so great.
It was awesome, man. It was one of those Wanda's vision, or Wanda's goodbye to Vision, probably, and the boys probably ranks up there as like one of the saddest moments in MCU history. And did we not talk about it like again and again and again, how this moment was being set up? It didn't matter. It didn't matter. It was just gut-wrenching seeing Wanda hold Vision in his arms, and then he disappears and she's back to where it all started, the Hex. And that line of we've said goodbye before and we'll say hello again was like right up there with like I Love You 3000, watching Avengers Endgame, because that's the moment that I broke out in Avengers Endgame. It wasn't when Tony Stark died. It was like sequences after.
Yeah.
And we saw the clip of Tony Stark in the hologram saying like, I love you 3000. That's when I completely lost it. This was the equivalent of that.
Same.
This is top notch, like saddest moments of MCU history. And it was right up there. Like I haven't cried at a TV show since Ahsoka Tano episode in season 2 of The Mandalorian. That when they released like that, there was so much emotion to that because I love Ahsoka Tano so much. But when like the ending and Ahsoka Tano's like she's trying to look for Thrawn, I just lost it. I completely lost it. That was that same kind of emotional break, kind of like wanted to do there in episode 8. But it was awesome, man. It was my number one moment in my top 10 rankings.
Yeah, I want to give the writers a huge amount of credit for not just letting the characters go. They finally let Wanda grieve and let go on her own, because as we've seen in the past, it's never been on her own terms, and she's never been able to ever accept that, because it's always someone always has been taken to her just randomly. And now she finally gets that chance to say goodbye, because she never got to say goodbye to Pietro, her parents, even I already said Pietro, but even Vision to a certain extent, because they were so set on just destroying him when in Infinity War. So to allow her to have that moment, to have herself be able to tell them I let you go, and to have the confirmation from Vision himself that we have left before, like you said, Deebs, and we will reconnect later. Like, dude, that's some powerful stuff that is obviously gonna happen. That line has more than just heartbreaking implication, let's just say, especially with the whole white vision. And I really just want to give the credit to the writers, and they allowed her to just get all the scenery up and about that. But Lo, what did you think about this whole scene?
So like I couldn't wrap my head around it earlier, but I kind of remembered what I wanted to say. Because obviously that ending is actually one of like the darkest moments in the MCU, because she's essentially saying bye to her, even though it may or may not be really her children. Like, just the idea of her children. It reminded me of like the Titanic, when the ship is sinking and there's a family trapped. You know, they can't get out. So the mom tucks the kids in, says a prayer, and just, it just go. What can they do? And in that moment, they just had each other. What I thought was underrated too was the fact that she said, "Thank you for choosing me to be your mother." Like, that was like literally, I think, the last thing she said to them. And I found that so fascinating, but also kind of like, I wasn't quite sure what she meant. But I also want to, like you, Ryan, I hats off to the writers, because I think the way they explained Vision was perfect. I love that, like the last thing Vision was thinking was like, what am I? And I thought that was interesting, because obviously they're connecting with each other. Obviously they're talking to each other. It's not just Wanda talking to herself, like me and like, I think AJ, you're thinking that, right? So I thought it was interesting that like Wanda acknowledged that you are the piece of the Mind Stone within me. And I found that fascinating. And I rewatched episode 8 because I couldn't watch anything last night. I never noticed that when she created him, it was that yellow stream like pumping out of her. And I didn't catch that the first time I saw it. I wasn't paying attention, I guess. It was 1 a.m. But yeah, it's like that the way that it was explained to me really made a lot of sense in my head. And it made sense for Vision to be its own entity. That's why I felt like that was Vision's soul just residing within Wanda, which I just found really, really powerful.
There's a lot of parallels in this show. There's parallels between Monica and Wanda. There's parallels between Vision and Wanda. There's parallels between Agatha and Wanda. And I think that's what made this character development story so effective. So go ahead, AJ.
Oh, I agree with that. I did love the parallels of that. Just seeing the pain that Agatha went through, the pain that Wanda went through, and is still going through. What I like about this episode, not even just this episode, but their entire series is basically a big therapy session for Wanda. She basically created her own therapy session, which I thought was a pretty cool concept. At the end, I did like to see that she was grieving, but she finally got to say that goodbye that she wanted. She got that closure, or I wouldn't even say like a full closure, but a closure that she needed to think more clearer, instead of like only thinking about revenge or pain or stuff like that, just to move forward. She might not fully be over the loss of her mother, father, brother, her loved one, but right now I do like the way that they ended this. It was a good ending. It was a good ending for WandaVision, but it was also a good continuation for Wanda's story as well.
Yeah. And I want to piggyback off because you absolutely nailed it, AJ. It's a conclusion to the first chapter of Wanda, but it's truly the first page of Scarlet Witch. Yeah. And I think that's what makes this so important for the MCU moving forward, is that Scarlet Witch has officially arrived, and she's going to be a prominent member of the Avengers moving forward. And whether you love the finale or not, it's very divisive, but I think that's what this finale was. It was setting her up. This was a journey of self-identity for Vision, for Wanda. That's why those two connected. Not only the Mind Stone, but for just finding their own purpose in this physical world. And I think that was just something so romantic and beautiful and optimistic about that. And it just made me completely lose it during the finale. I'll never forget it, man. It was awesome.
That's one thing I will give this show. It's not only a very memorable show with a bunch of scenes, but it's a very good show to quote. I feel like the past 3-4 episodes, we've talking about at least one good quote that episode has given us that has stand out. Yeah, Deibs?
What is love without
love persevering?
Or what is love if not grief? Or
what
no, what is
love without
no,
love
what
persevering?
is grief without love persevering?
yeah.
There we go.
We had it backwards.
Yeah, bro. You guys are like, you guys are confusing me. I'm like, I know what it is, but yeah, dude. That I still think we will hear that quote for a long while when it comes to Marvel fans.
Cheers,
And, like,
Deibs.
I don't want to cry again, man. Let's move on to the next topic.
Hey guys, real quick, because I feel like we also didn't touch on this yet. One of my favorite moments as well, because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this is like my second favorite episode. I really liked the first one, the 8th one more, but how interesting was it to see the Westview snap out of it? And like the way they were like glaring at her and the paranoia and the anxiety that Wanda was feeling, like realizing the pain she was causing them. And, you know, I gotta say, that was also pretty dark. The fact that she's keeping these people from their families and that the poor lady was like, I want to see my daughter. Can I please just see my daughter? And like, God, that was heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
What
about Wanda passing her grief to all the people?
Right. Like we have nightmares. It's your pain. And you know what I find interesting is the fact that I thought she was gonna turn herself in. I thought she was gonna turn, like, you know, do the right thing, but in a sense, she's essentially a fugitive because of what she did to these people for God knows how long.
Thousands of people.
Right, exactly. Like, and these people, like, I bet you their family members probably think they're dead or missing, and it was Wanda's fault. So she's on the run, and not only is she on the run, she has the dark hold, and she's doing some things she probably shouldn't be doing.
Very villainous-esque type things, it seems like.
Oh,
and
yeah, no, you gotta think
dude,
Stephen Strange is like, wait a minute.
Dude, after seeing that post-credit scene, it's becoming a little bit more clear now. I don't want to say it's confirmed because it's obviously not. And I think they were definitely waiting for this show to end to start giving us more details about Doctor Strange, obviously. But it's starting to feel more and more like, I don't want to say she'll be the main villain, but she's going to be a big villain in the next film, I definitely think.
I just had a Jimmy Neutron brain blast, guys.
Say it, dude.
Brain blast! So, guys.
Say it.
What if? Like,
don't do this.
What if the majority of Multiverse of Madness is Doctor Strange chasing Wanda through the multiverse? Because she's obviously... She's got the dark hold.
You're so close. Now. Yes. And she's Okay, so dude, you started. I didn't want to get to this point, but here come the theories.
Here we go.
So yeah, I feel like that's what's gonna happen. I feel like if anyone doesn't know, want us to recap what happened at the end. Wanda's in a cabin on a lake, and she's doing that little photo morph thing that Doctor Strange did towards the middle endish of Infinity War when they gave us the title of Endgame, maybe. But other than that, but it was the 1 in like 5 gazillion chances of them winning.
No,
she did the same thing.
It was a callback to when he was sleeping and meditating at the same time in Doctor Strange. In the Doctor Strange.
Think so?
Movie.
I would have said that more if she was actually sleeping.
Hey, Deibs, can you pull up Formal's comment from earlier? Because I thought that was an interesting question that we weren't quite ready to get to.
He was astroplaning during Doctor Strange's soundtrack. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah. But dude,
Formal was asking if it was if she was on Alkali Lake possibly, which I thought was interesting. But also, I'm not familiar with the reference.
Astro Projection. That's what it's called. Astro Projection. I couldn't think of the name.
So AJ, are you familiar with Wonder Gore Mountain? Because I'm not familiar with that.
Neither am I.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
I'm curious. So Formal,
fake fans.
You're asking the right questions, man.
Yeah,
we're just fake fans. Sorry.
I'm gonna dig into this after the pod.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
What is it? Wonder Gore Mountain. Okay.
Wonder Gore Mountain and Alkali Lake.
Well, Alkali Lake, that's from the X-Men universe. That's where Weapon X was created. So
is that where Jean Grey? We see Jean Grey like under the water.
yes, that's Alkali Lake. And
Oh,
then
that
that's
is.
what,
Oh,
That's
shit.
X-Men too, right?
yeah, Logan kept having dreams of Alkali Lake, and that's where he
Guys,
went.
I just want to say now, I think anything we think X-Men is just not true at this point. I've honestly, I've just kind of given up on it at this point because, dude, I just can't believe. I know we talked about this earlier, but the fact that so many people got disappointed just blows my mind. I don't want to get into that again, but dude, what do we? Wait, I didn't even do this, guys. What do you think about Wanda and the technical end credit scene now that we finally got? Not a mid-credit scene. Deibs?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
I definitely think there's credence to setting up Wanda as that, like, as almost like that Hellboy, like a female Hellboy, like the son of Satan. That he's like this prophecy to be the destroyer of Earth. We already saw that with Ragnarok. I definitely think that's on the table. My money was on. There's so many ways. Like, I don't think there's so many ways this can go. There was, like, on one side, I thought that to the core, it was going to be Doctor Strange that comes in and teaches Wanda how to harness chaos magic. We've seen magic many times in the MCU, but we haven't explored chaos magic. We saw the hint that Wanda is one of the rare people that can actually harness chaos magic along with her X gene. But I thought it was going to be, rather than Agatha Harkness, it was going to be Doctor Strange that comes in and teaches her. But that was an ominous post-credit scene. I'm not going to lie. It was a very dark tone. You saw her clearly connecting with the twins. What does that mean for Young Avengers moving forward? There's a lot of answers. So long story short, I definitely don't think that Agatha is going down I definitely don't think that Wanda's going to do the path of being the villain. I think this is more along the lines of she's going to have the support of Doctor Strange coming in and teaching her how and the knowledge of the Darkhold and all that.
I just had a Jimmy Neutron moment, just like Lo did. Bro, so think about it. When she was doing the astral projection, we heard Billy and Tommy screaming "Mom." So what if she opens multiple dimensions to try and find her children? And that's what causes Doctor Strange to come and come find her and not stop her. Well, stop her, but maybe she's not actually trying to cause harm. But maybe by trying to save her or trying to get her children, she's causing like a massive rift or something, just like what she did with the Hex, sort of.
And then,
just
like,
on a
Dr.
much
Strange
larger
has to let her know,
scale.
like, you got to know the consequences of what you're doing. You don't, and
yes.
So
that was just a major click.
So Doctor Strange, they protect like your realm, like they protect like bigger threats than Wanda. Like, you got to think this happened over the last 7 days. Like, it's like a week, right? Like, it's right. Not much time,
not that long
since the blip. So now that Wanda has all these powers that she's learning the Darkhold. That's definitely the trigger that's going to be like to Doctor Strange to be like, who the fuck is this woman? Like manipulating all these different realities. I think you're right on it, Ryan.
Yeah, dude.
That one. X. I think this is the moment that gets Doctor Strange.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, this theory doesn't seem too far off. I don't want to toot my own horn, but does anyone have anything else to say? AJ, do you have anything to say about this?
I will say
AJ?
this. I would say this. I think you're pretty close with the Wanda's kids theory. I think instead of her creating multiple realities, I don't think she'll be the one creating multiple realities. But
no, she'll be going through different realities.
I don't think it'll be multiple realities. I think it'll be one specific reality or one different universe or whatever. And I do believe that's like the Hell universe, since the Darkhold is created from the Hell universe. And
Or I just
Go
thought
on.
about it, AJ. If we really go back to some theories we had about season 1, what if Wanda opens up a dimension to the Hell dimension and goes to Mephisto to try and make a deal? And that's what
that
really
that was my thought when I heard the kids in that post credit scene.
And then
I
she
felt
saves Agent Coulson. Yeah, no, just kidding.
No,
I'm just kidding.
no.
we need Coulson back in the
think
MCU again.
the finale sealed the deal that that's not canon. Like that is gone.
what?
Hey, we don't know that.
Well,
Hashtag Agents of Shield Gang.
people were saying that it's not canon anymore because of Darkhold, and the reason because of that is because the Darkhold looks different. That's why people are saying that it's the Agents of Shield isn't canon anymore, or was never canon to begin with. That's what I heard, at least.
I don't want to hear that.
Massive oof. AJ, do you have like any like closing thoughts on the whole theory with Multiverse of Madness and the whole Wanda end credit scene?
None that I can think of right now. No.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say mid-credit scene sets up Captain Marvel 2. I think we all kind of assumed this episode would sort of set up Captain Marvel 2. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was kind of formulaic. I'm gonna say it just rubbed off like the reveal in Far From Home to me, just like someone that was just kind of roaming around, and then last thing you know, for a big oh shit, that was them, they switch into a scroll. And I don't know why the scroll had to be so ominous. When Monica asked who needed me, she could have just said the person, but for obvious reasons they didn't, and she just pointed up. So who the fuck do we think is gonna be in that movie other than the people that we know, like Miss Marvel, Monica? Do we think Nick Fury has the potential to come in and this is the movie that sets up Secret Invasion?
100%.
I was just gonna say, I feel like it's not so much Captain Marvel 2. I think Secret Invasion comes out first, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, you keep talking. I'll look this up.
Yeah,
Okay. So let's look that up. That's what I felt. I felt like this was a setup for Secret Invasion and not Captain Marvel 2, because I feel like we have some steps to take before we get there.
It's Falcon and then Spider-Man are the next two in succession in terms of after Endgame.
No, I know, but I mean, in terms of the shows, I think after that we're gonna get Loki
So Secret Invasion
Hawkeye,
doesn't have a release window.
Okay.
And I think Captain Marvel is 2022. If I remember Marvel 2.
AJ, what's your thought?
Yeah, November 11, 2022 is Captain Marvel 2. Sorry, Deibs.
So
AJ,
you know
what-
what? I just feel like there's no way they can have that movie come out and not have Secret Invasion set it up, because obviously everyone's gonna want to see the movie versus, oh my god, I want to watch Secret Invasion now. You know, like I don't know. That's just how it seems. Like
I want to hear what AJ thinks about Secret Invasion, because there's a lot of rehash in this storyline. Are you excited about? Because in the comics, it's almost a lot of similar stuff that we've seen from Civil War. You're going to see kind of heroes at odds against each other, rather than like I want to see them move on and go into the cosmic area of the universe with sword and things like that. But Secret Invasion kind of is just rehashing a lot of the same things we've already seen. Any thoughts on that, AJ? Because you're more a comic book person than I am.
Yeah, so what I think Kevin Feige is planning, or this is where I think the story is moving forward in, is that it won't do that rehash with hero versus hero. We won't get that for a little while, at least. At least I think we won't get that until like X-Men versus Avengers, or Avengers versus Fantastic Four, something like that. I don't think we're going to get that for a long while. The way I feel like Kevin Feige is setting up Secret Invasions, just on the basis of WandaVision, is that there will be what is it? There will be a huge threat. So basically, what I think Secret Invasion is going to be is Empire, Fantastic Four Empire, where you get the Super Skrulls, not the good ones, but the ones that are trying to, so we'll get Super Skrulls for sure in Secret Invasion. and that will be the main like antagonist for that. For part of, I would say, for Captain Marvel, and then it will be brought into Secret Invasions, the series for Disney Plus. Those two will coexist together as basically two movies. I would say part 1, part 2. Just like WandaVision is going to be part of 3 with Spider-Man and Multiverse of Madness.
So we just got done with Hydra, though. Like, I feel like it's going to be kind of the same kind of concept, and I'm just like, I love the Secret Invasion storyline.
See, I don't think they're going to follow the Secret Invasion storyline.
Well, they said they weren't going as big as a Secret Invasion storyline. So, with Kevin Feige, I can only imagine what that can mean in the grand scope of what the show is going to turn out to be at the end of the day.
Like kind of what you're implying, Ryan, if you think about it, that's exactly what they did with Civil War. They didn't follow the comic to a T. They just took the idea of Civil War and made it make sense for the movie. But it wasn't that similar to the comic. Like there was a bunch of characters in the comic that didn't appear in the film.
See, to be fair with Civil War, they didn't have any rights to most of the characters that were in Civil War. That's why they had to make a lot of changes.
Yeah, so
there's a lot of characters in Secret Invasion. A lot of characters, like Fantastic Four. Is that like what we're gonna do?
That's why I don't think that he's gonna follow Secret Wars to a T. It's because also, he already plans Secret Invasions before Fantastic Four or X-Men.
And also, being a show, AJ, there's no reason why they would make it as grand. If it was going to be that grand, they would have made it a film.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this show is going to just focus more on the buddy cop aspect of Nick Fury and Talos. That's what I think we're going to get. I think it's going to be a lot of comedy, but this isn't like a Secret Invasion thing all of a sudden. Because I was like, we're just there.
Ben Mendelsohn is a saint. If I don't get more Talos, I'm going to riot.
No, Talos was the best part of Captain Marvel by far.
That is the truth.
Question: When does Captain Marvel 2 start filming, or it has already started filming?
Bro, Captain Marvel 2 starts
January.
No, it definitely didn't start yet.
If it's releasing in 2022, they're not going to start filming until at least
summer,
end of the year, maybe.
Okay,
no,
they're
going to start pre-production. I'd say around fall. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So Secret Invasions starts filming in April. That's when Secret Invasion starts.
That's what I'm saying. It has to promote the film because there's no way the film would come.
It starts filming in April
already.
Yes.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. That's why I think we got that tease.
Okay.
So you think we're going to Secret Invasion first?
100%. Like why show us the scroll if we're not going to get the Secret Invasion soon?
I think that was more of I thought I took that not as a Secret Invasion nod. I took that as a Captain Marvel.
That's how I took it too. That's how I took it. But we've also got one big major storyline that you can argue wrapped up, but that's Agatha being trapped. Just wants to recall this one. But yeah, what do we think Agatha plays a role in the MCU going forward? Because this morning, Deibs, me and you said on the show that we don't think she's wrapping up this season. We definitely think she's coming back at the end of the season.
I will put $20 in this. She will die in Multiverse of Madness. Yes, she will die protecting Wanda in Multiverse of Madness.
You know what's interesting is I got strong Loki vibes. Like when Loki's locked up in Dark World, and then he says that line, guys, where he's like, "You must be really desperate to need my help," and then they team up, and I love it. And then they teamed up again in Ragnarok. I feel like they might have that kind of love-hate relationship. Like, shit, I need you, but don't fuck up, So I think that's gonna be kind of fun.
No, yeah, I definitely agree, and I want to give Catherine Hahn a lot of credit because that final scene when Wanda, oh god, my wire pulled my fucking mic. But when Wanda switches her back to Agnes, the role she chose to be in the sitcom world, bro, her acting, you could tell behind the smile, bro, she was in pain, dude.
Pain.
And I give Catherine Hahn a lot of fucking credit for that
She's
performance.
amazing, man.
Because, dude, I really felt that. Like, I haven't felt like, wow, dude. Like, I low-key kind of felt bad for her. Like, that sounds fucking awful to live in your own sitcom body. And by the way, where did she even go to? Because we saw that the hex fully closed. Because me and Deibs are at least thinking that they were going to keep her in like a little perimeter. You know what I mean? But nah, that bitch fucking closed. That thing did a whole big bang on our ass.
I don't think they showed us, but I'm just imagining her house being like hexed in, if that makes sense. I feel like it's just like Agatha's house or something like that, you know?
Big bang on her ass?
Yeah, they big banged our ass, dude. I
didn't even realize what you said, dude. Holy shit. This got X-rated real quick. AJ's done with it. AJ's over it. He's like, what the fuck?
I
just want to go back to my chicken
brain
nuggets.
is dead.
I can only imagine how Deibs feels right now.
Oh, I don't even know.
So I guess, are we doing final grades of the season or the finale, or what are we doing here?
Ooh, that's a good. I say we give a final season grade.
Okay.
I want AJ to go first.
B plus. I'll give it a B plus.
Okay.
I just love the way they handled the some conclusion that they gave us. I love how they handled giving us just tidbits of what's going to happen after WandaVision, whether it's from Captain Marvel 2, Secret Invasions, or Spider-Man, or Multiverse of Madness. I think they did a good job on finishing a certain part of the story and starting new ones at the same time. The acting was brilliant from Agatha, from Wanda, from Vision. I think everybody did a great job. The score was amazing. Not a lot of people give credit to the musician for this, but it was really good. The writing, I felt like, was really, really, really great. So yeah, B plus for me.
No, yeah,
it might change to an A minus. It might be. Between B plus and A minus.
Watch this all in one sitting to see what it's like. I definitely agree with you, AJ. I'm gonna go with the B plus too. I don't want to like go on the highs because we all know the highs already, but I feel like the season finale or series finale in this case, as told to us, I feel like it was a little rushed. I feel like the episode could have been a little bit longer on certain parts. I would have liked a little bit more of the Hayward stuff, the Darcy, Jimmy, and Monica. They definitely got a little bit sidelined on this episode, which I guess we all pretty much assumed once we figured out what the runtime of this was. And at the end of the day, I still stand by my point. I think 9 episodes was a little too long for what they were trying to do. I much would have preferred episode 1 and 2 together, 3 and 4 together, 5 and 6 together, 7, 8 together, and then make the finale its own Friday to really hype it up. I think that would have been cool. But at the end of the day, like AJ said, this is some of the best acting we've gotten in the MCU. And I feel like from Infinity War and on, it's just been so much more dramatic in that sense. And this only furthers its case with its emotional trauma, with dealing with death and grief, and coming to terms and accepting that while others that you want there are not continuing, you're still there. So I appreciate that Marvel really went down that sentimental road, and I give them a lot of credit because this could have gone wrong very easily, but Kevin Feige, fucking kudos and credit to you, man. And just like AJ, I think my grade might change once I do like a full rewatch. I want them to do an extended Justice League Snyder Cut release of this. Take out all the credits and mash it all together. That would be a fuck ton of fun, but I'm going to go with B+. What about you, Deibs?
I want to change. I do want to change it to an A minus.
Motherfucker.
This is my reason. I think this is one of the most creative things that Kevin Feige and the team has done, especially with a sitcom. I know a couple people didn't like the sitcom element, but to try it, and for me specifically,
It took balls.
Try it, and to be successful with it is probably one of the. It was stupid of him, but at the same time, it was greatness.
So smart.
So it for me is the A. I'm switching it to A minus.
What about you, Deibs?
All right, I'm up. I was probably in that B plus range, but like the more I thought about it, like it is definitely probably an A minus to A. This is by far not just a superhero TV show. This is a great quality television show, and I think that can't be understated enough. From you guys nailed it, AJ. From the performances to the writing, to everything that went into this, to COVID just throwing a wrench into everything going on with the production of this show, to the timeline of the MCU, how they all managed that to make just an amazing quality television show, to the experimental part of it, to just being just this. I can't give Kevin Feige enough credit for always exploring what they haven't tried yet. And this was that. This was that. And I'm just excited. I was not excited for Captain Marvel 2. I was always excited for Doctor Strange 2. Now I'm excited for Captain Marvel 2. There's just so many positives from this show that I went into it just kind of being like neutral, like, yeah, like I'm ready to go. I'm ready for the MCU. We haven't had MCU content, but I was more excited for Falcon and She-Hulk and Miss Marvel, all that. But here we are, and not enough credit can be given to Paul Bettany, Tiana Paris, Elizabeth Olsen, Darcy Lewis, Jimmy, like all those guys. Just absolutely nailed it episode to episode. I don't know what it means for those side characters moving forward, but what I do know is that this was a love letter for the characters, the main characters. And whether you love it, whether we didn't get the big reveals that we all wanted and hoped and talked about, I just respect the fuck out of the writers just sticking to their guns and making it about Wanda. No. My daughter's been asleep for like 3 hours. We're good.
I was kidding.
It was a reference to Captain America. There you go.
Yes, thank you, AJ.
I understood that reference. So, I'm just so glad that the writers stuck to their guns and made it a true story about tragedy and overcoming trauma, and that is in itself an A minus at least.
No, yeah, I definitely agree, Deibs. What a wonderful show. And to wrap us up with your final grade, what is it, Loretto?
Hey, I'll bring us home quick, nice and sweet, short and sweet. I agree. And that's my whole thing. Like, I'll give it a straight 90, like a straight A minus. And I'll admit it was in B range for most of the season with the short run time, the lack of, kind of like what Formal was getting at. There wasn't much going on. It was a little bit slow on the sitcom. Luckily, they switched it up episode 4, but the sitcom format started to wear thin quickly. And the last 2 or 3 episodes really ramped up the emotion, the acting, and ultimately, like you, Ryan, I want to watch it all together because I haven't. It's so hard for me to watch every night in the middle of the night, and I have work every day, Monday through Friday, or sometimes on the weekend, and I need to watch all of this together. I want to binge it one of these days, maybe like a weekend. I'll just binge the whole freaking thing and enjoy it for what it is. But I think as an arc, it was a complete story. Paul Bettany, Catherine Hahn, Tiana Paris, Elizabeth Olsen, fantastic acting job. Randall Park, just a great job. A minus for me.
No, yeah, without a doubt. And man, what a wonderful season, bro. It feels weird that we're already 9 weeks done and into this already. But dude, we'll be back next Friday. We got some cool announcements for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier starting in 2 weeks. And that's only going to be a 6 weeks episode. And then we got a bunch of Star Wars content coming to you guys.
We also have a collab, right?
Yes. Wait, are we keeping that secret still? Or I don't know.
Oh, to pretend
Not
you guys didn't hear that.
secret anymore.
That's not secret anymore, but the details are coming soon, people. And if
Cue
you
the
want to
exit
see
video.
other details, check our Twitter at the Suit Up Geek Fix Podcast, and we'll see you next Friday.
Yay!
Yay! No, yay!